Welcome to Rogue Parameters. Large language models are powerful and far from perfect. Here we take a clear, evidence-based look at how these systems really work. No hype, no blind faith, just grounded analysis. Every episode, we break down the hidden trade-offs inside modern AI architectures, the edge cases that reveal how models behave under pressure, the unexpected outcomes that show up only in real-world use, and the practical methods that actually work when you build with AI. If you're a developer, a researcher, or just someone who wants to understand what's really happening under the hood, you're in the right place.
Your company just spent $50,000 on large language model tools. Your boss believes they'll replace half the team. But here's what isn't being said. LLMs have major limitations that can undermine your entire implementation. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what large language models can't do, why these limitations matter, and how to avoid wasting money on the wrong solutions. In 2024, businesses spent $200 billion on AI technologies. By 2025, that number climbed to $300 billion. Yet, around 85% of LLM projects fail. Not because the technology doesn't work, but because companies misunderstand what LLMs cannot do. After reviewing dozens of case studies and speaking with implementation teams, one pattern is obvious. Failed projects almost always stem from unrealistic expectations. This video covers 7 critical LLM limitations that directly affect business outcomes. These aren't theoretical, they are real issues costing companies millions.
Limitation 1. LLMs can't understand what's happening right now. Every large language model has a knowledge cutoff. ChatGPT is trained up to a specific date. Claude and others stop slightly later. Even when these systems can browse, they still don't genuinely understand breaking news, real-time market changes, live regulatory updates, competitor moves, or your company's internal situation. If you ask an LLM to make decisions based on current events, you're relying on outdated or incomplete information. Example: a mid-sized investment firm asked a model for analysis to guide a major trade. The model responded confidently, but based on pre-2023 data and outdated Federal Reserve conditions. The firm trusted the output and lost $200,000. The solution: feed the model your current data. Don't rely on LLMs for market timing or compliance decisions. Check time-sensitive claims with authoritative sources. Treat LLMs as analysis tools, not live information engines.
Limitation 2. Large language models hallucinate with total confidence. A hallucination occurs when a large language model invents information. It can fabricate studies, statistics, legal cases, citations, quotes. And the most dangerous part? It delivers these falsehoods with the same confidence it uses for correct answers. Example: in a high-profile 2023 case in New York, 2 lawyers were each fined $5,000 and ordered to notify the actual judges named in the bogus AI-generated opinions after they included 6 fake judicial decisions in a personal injury lawsuit filing when they used an LLM to research case law. It generated 6 cases, names, judges, rulings, all fake. The lawyer submitted the brief and was sanctioned by the court. Another example: a consulting firm used an LLM to draft a market report. It cited a 2023 McKinsey study that didn't exist. The client checked the citation, discovered the fabrication, and dropped the firm. Why is this dangerous? Legal documents must be accurate. Financial reports must be exact. Compliance material cannot contain fabricated content. Customer-facing material reflects your credibility. Protect your company. Verify citations and statistics. Treat large language model output as a draft. Build human review into legal, financial, and regulated workflows. Never rely solely on LLMs for medical, legal, or compliance work.
Limitation 3. Large language models don't reason, they predict patterns.
This is the most misunderstood limitation. LLMs do not think, understand causality, or evaluate consequences. They predict the next most likely word based on patterns in their training data. Real reasoning requires understanding cause and effect, handling competing priorities, dealing with novel situations, judging risks and trade-offs, and accounting for human factors. LLMs cannot do these things. Example: a manufacturing company asked a model to optimize a production schedule. The output looked efficient, but ignored worker fatigue, informal maintenance windows, labor agreements, safety considerations, and specific company culture. If implemented, the plan could have caused safety incidents and labor conflict. LLMs weren't reasoning. They were remixing patterns from similar schedule data. This matters because strategy requires judgment, crisis response requires understanding, innovation requires more than pattern remixing, leadership requires consequence modeling. LLMs can assist, but they cannot replace human reasoning for nuanced, high-risk, or long-term decisions.
Limitation 4. Large language models lack business context and institutional memory. Even with large context windows, LLMs do not understand things like your company's history, the reasons behind past decisions, internal politics, culture and values, or industry-specific regulations. Unless you supply this information every time or build a system that does, an LLM defaults to generic patterns. Example: a healthcare organization used an LLM to streamline patient intake. The model removed steps it believed were redundant. Those steps were actually legally required due to a lawsuit 5 years earlier. The model had no way to know. Solutions: 1. Use retrieval-augmented generation to bring in relevant internal documents. 2. Explicitly define constraints and requirements. 3. Use structured prompts that always include necessary context. And finally, keep humans involved where history or compliance matter.
Limitation 5. Large language models break on edge cases. LLMs are trained on common patterns, not rare exceptions. They handle simple, repetitive tasks well. But the moment an interaction gets unusual or emotionally complex, failure rates spike. And edge cases are often where your business creates the most value. Example: an LLM can answer, "Where's my order?" easily. But consider, "My house burned down. I lost the package. Can I get another one?" This requires empathy, nuance, and judgment. Complex transactions involving tasks like multiple categories, currency changes, partial refunds, store credit combinations, or conditional promotions often confuse LLMs. Why is this so important? When LLMs fail mid-process, humans must intervene and diagnose what went wrong, undo the incorrect steps, rebuild trust with the customer. This increases, not reduces, operational cost. The right strategy is to automate the predictable 80%, escalate the unpredictable 20% to humans, track edge case failure rates. Basically, don't force LLMs into tasks they weren't designed for.
Limitation 6. Large language models aren't cheap at scale. Many companies assume LLMs reduce costs. At scale, they'd often do the opposite. Hidden costs include API fees, token charges for large documents, retry costs when prompts fail, integration engineering, security audits, required human review, prompt and workflow tuning, team training, and ongoing maintenance. Enterprise LLM costs are often 3 to 5 times higher than initial estimates. Example:
A contract review company estimated $5,000 per month in LLM expenses. After deployment, costs hit $23,000. Why? Long documents required multiple passes, edge case retries, ongoing human review, and extra QA processes. The expected savings vanished. What's the lesson here? Budget realistically by multiplying initial estimates by 3, considering continuous operational costs, measuring ROI monthly, and killing non-performing projects quickly.
Limitation 7. Large language models cannot take responsibility. When an LLM makes a mistake, the vendor is not liable. You cannot sue the model. Your company carries the risk. This is especially dangerous in spaces like healthcare, finance, legal work, HR decisions, compliance, safety, and automated approvals. We're already seeing lawsuits involving LLM hiring tools that discriminate, medical chatbots giving unsafe instructions, and automated financial analysis violating regulations. This creates implications for your business, such as keeping critical decisions human-controlled, keeping audit logs of who reviewed what, monitoring for bias, drift, and errors, and training employees to override the model when necessary. A responsible LLM framework includes human-in-the-loop systems, clear ownership, regular audits, compliance reviews, and documented limitations.
Summary of the 7 large language model limitations. 1. LLMs can't reliably understand real-time information. 2. They hallucinate and present falsehoods with confidence. 3. They predict patterns, they don't reason. 4. They lack business context and institutional memory. 5. They fail on edge cases that matter most. 6. They become expensive at scale. 7. They can't take responsibility. You carry the liability. However, don't confuse limitation with uselessness. LLMs are not useless. They're powerful tools when applied strategically. Here's a clear, actionable plan. 1. Audit your LLM projects against these 7 limitations. 2. Add human review to legal, financial, HR, compliance, and customer-facing workflows. 3. Adjust budgets. Assume 3 times your initial estimate. 4. Start with low-risk, high-volume tasks like summarization, categorization, drafting, and triage. 5. Track ROI monthly and shut down weak projects early. LLMs are powerful, but they do not replace expertise or accountability. The question isn't, can an LLM do this? It's, should an LLM do this, and what happens if it gets it wrong? If this helped you understand the limits of large language models, the next video will show where they actually deliver strong ROI and how to deploy them safely. Thanks for watching, and remember, use large language models smarter, not blindly.